Good evening or good morning. This is Cheryl at Sea Spirit Tarot. Yeah, I'm sitting on a ball, so I kind of bounce around. I don't know what time it is. It is somewhere around midnight, I think. And I wanted to do a full moon reading for the last full moon in the year, with it being in Gemini. Moon in Gemini, Sun in Capricorn. I know there's glares behind me. The top glare, the star, it's kind of mercurial. Yeah. And that's wizard altars. That's all wizards up there. And the green, the second one's my hurricane altar, or earth water here. And the bottom one is geometric mandala crystal grid for all the waters, the healings of the earth. And I'm just going to let that be. We're here to be. So, Mercury, Quicksilver. Have you ever tried to pick up mercury? I mean, I know it's toxic, you're not supposed to, but one time I blew up a thermometer long ago when I was a kid, and you know, you can't even pick mercury up without like scooping it with a paper. But if mercury is hit, it just goes in a million little pieces all over everywhere, particles. And mercury is like that. It's your mind. It just will go. It's also the internet. It's also social media. It's also how your mind gets so fragmented out into that area. And I'm not going to go into a bunch of other astrology because I'm really rusty on my astrology. I hadn't studied it just like I hadn't studied my tarot. I used some rose oil. Sapphire high balsam fir, it's the highest frequency. And though it's what they call a high tone, and it dissipates quickly, it always elevates to love, and it moves quickly also. So we use that. I want to say that we'll put up Hermes here. Hermes. Mercury's Hermes. Thoth was Hermes. So Metatron is supported a lot by Mercury. And I was watching a thing, his staff here. Like, this would kind of be Saturn of matter. This would be your consciousness. Yeah. This would be your subconscious. This would be your conscious on the staff. And when you integrate all of that, all this flashing around in your mind, you develop the superconsciousness and the oneness. So I didn't draw a goddess. I just let Mercury come on out here and hang out. I did draw an Acturian card because this imprints on your mind. This is the back that you can trace. If you trace this, it will change your neural pathways. And this is recognition. Recognition, sacred geometry, and probably recognizing who we are, what we are. And there's your pinnacle. There she be. I know my videos are getting too long. They're running 20 minutes, and I'm trying to keep them down. When I went to do the spread, the card that, after I moved the deck, was left lying there. It's pretty interesting. Is the Hanged Man. Now I'm using this deck again for the universal consciousness or universal unconsciousness, what they are not conscious of, or the general frequency tone going on in the world. And I'm going to go with Crowley's thing on this because I got that lamp on. See, I'm trying to change my lighting and it's just not working. You can either use this to be enlightened and get turned around, or this is outmoded systems from the other eons. I looked up eons. An eon is 1,000,000 years. So now we're in the age of Horus. We're going into 2020, right? And there's full moon. There's going to be an eclipse. Not an eclipse. There's going to be a solstice. There's going to be a 12/12 Stargate. There's going to be another major change of energy activation coming in on Christmas night. So right now we're just kind of hung. We're just kind of hung here. So I just thought it was interesting. I just brought it up. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, which I did. Okay. So to start with, for the general consciousness, this is just a general reading. What my shadow twin is saying, what my subconscious is saying to me at this time of this full moon. And I got the 10 of coins, a completion of the eon, folks. You know, it's the age of Aquarius. It is time to roll. And what is this? The Ace of Wands, taking your soul son's self and creating. And look, he's got a fire on his sword. The Ace of Wands, fire in his wand. You'll have an experience. All potential exists there. It is up to you. And then the card that I drew, and this is pretty cool too, for the general reading for the world collective, unconscious, conscious, whatever they are, happen to be the Magician. And this card has action. And you know, there's a lot going on around the world. You know, the protests in France have lasted now for 1 full year against the government, against the old regime. And, you know, even if you watch mainstream news, you see, if you read through the lines, the breaking down of the Vatican that owns 25% of the land in the world, the crimes being exposed in the government and against against love. So the world's changing, and the world's ready to change, and the world is active to change. And our part in this is to know that we have completed, and we have the Ace of Wands to start again. I can't see anything with that glare. I can't get this lighting right very well. So in the middle of the day when it's just blaring in the windows. What is my light twin, my consciousness saying to me? General reading. Queen of Wands. Magnetism. You have the magnetism. You have the frequency. You have the stability. You have an agenda. One needs two. Use the fire of your sun soul source. What is your sign? What does your sign represent? What part do you play in the unfolding of this world? It's time to use it. And what is the general, I don't even know what to call it, the unconscious, subconscious of the world? We're trying to get this juggled. I got the Two of Pentacles. They know change is happening. Be part of the change you want to see. Make the change happen. Make the change happen over here with your Ace of Wands. I mean, come on. You are the Queen of Wands, right? Juggle it up. Let's change it all. Let's knock it out with Mercury. But then, like again, I just did a thought reading with the swords, mind by mind, and not to be chaotic, but we need to center this in and think about where we're going and give gratitude for what we've had for this year. 3, how can I integrate the above into wholeness? What's one word? Love. The Knight of Cups. Fill your grail. And that's the Knight of Cups? Yes. The Knight of Cups. Fill your grail. Fill your own grail. You fill your own grail, everybody else's grail will fill also. Going towards the Christ consciousness, going towards the frequency of love. And what's the world feeling on this? Strength. Now, no, I know there's lots of violence, and that's a monster. And this guy who's almost a monster himself, right? Is looking deep in within that monster to see what he has to conquer. And the monster has his tail here, twisted around him. So strength is healing, balancing, well-being. What is one of my favorite little things about it? Mind and body. Mind and body coming together and help others on this path, because everybody doesn't quite have enough guts to open the mouth of the monster. And maybe that inside the monster, they're just seeing a reflection of the monster that they are, that we are. What requires my dedication at this time? The Empress, Venus, love, fertility, creation. 'Tis the season. Bring it in. You know, get off some of that social media and nurture in person some people near you. Enjoy humanity. Be fertile. Be fertile of imagination and love. What else can I say about that? And I don't want to keep you here 45 minutes. And what was this was for? What is requiring dedication at the time? Okay, this is what I got for the world. The worldly, subconscious, unconscious that they're not even conscious of, huh? The Emperor. We got a pair. We got a marriage here. The Empress of the Dragon for clarity, and the Emperor to assist, to manifest the new world as we walk the checkerboard of the world, of a new beginning. Last cards. How best can I direct my energy for the remainder of this year? That's kind of weird, but no. So it's on the spread. The spread's by Ethany. I got one of her printouts early that she offered if you signed up for her witch email. So, for the general reading, I've got the Nine of Swords, which is an attainment. The Nine of Swords, it's boxing him in here. This is Rider-Waite's nightmare card, isn't it? But he can come clear through this. I'm not going to use the Rider-Waite. He's in a fog. You can be in a fog with Mercury. Your mind can become so unsettled. This reading really well follows the Thoth reading that I did like 2 hours ago and posted. So, but I'm going to take this 9. Is that what it is? A 9? A 9 of Swords. Conquering the mind, conquering the media, conquering the false propaganda. Conquering we must relearn everything that we have been taught. Okay, and the dragon is here to clarify it. And these two cards came out together. I didn't even realize I was holding the other one, which is death, which works right into what I was saying. Death of all these false paradigms represented by this hangman that came out of the deck before any cards were even drawn. Okay? Death. And the answer is love. The answer is love. And I missed something here. This is the best. Oh, no, I have 2 more cards for it. This is for the general consciousness. And the cards for the world, unconscious, subconscious, that they're not conscious of. I don't even know how to describe it. I got Temperance, which is really such a beautiful card here, of balance. Bringing on in your angelic aspects. Back to the love situation again. Pouring that water. Balance, ethereal. It's in the frequency, it's in the ethereal, it's in the water. Okay? Words are pattern vibrations. Water, you can pattern the vibration by holding the glass in your hand and saying mantras and saying prayers. Beautiful. This is very hopeful for the world, don't you think? And the other card that came out with it is the Seven of Cups. And we're redesigning it all. Looking at what's there, what we got. Looking what we don't want. Redesigning, restructuring the whole world. You have the help of Hermes, Thoth of the Emerald Tablets. If you haven't listened to Thoth of the Emerald Tablets, it's well worth your time. If you're into, he's reincarnated all the way through since the beginning of time. He's basically God's scribe. I didn't see him in the chemistry class. And again, the sacred geometry is recognition. Recognition of where we're going, recognition of who we are, recognition of what we need to do. And that is your full moon Gemini reading for December 11th or 12th, wherever you may be in this world. If you sat through this, I thank you so very much. And may the goddess bless you. Enjoy the full moon. Let it shine and radiate on what you're going to keep. And take time to sort out what you don't need. Love you all. Bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful season.